call this a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked. And you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Wednesday night, March the 7th, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hey there, STT. How are ya?
I am good. How about yourself?
Doing great.
That is good to hear. After that big interview last night.
Phew. It was fun.
Were you feeling good today?
Yeah, I was. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot to talk about. It was a good thing.
We'll put you up on the next one, see how we make out there.
Uh-huh.
Also joining me on the program tonight is Mr. Cop.
Hey, what's going on, Michael? How are you?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great. It's an awesome day, man. Absolutely awesome day.
Why do you refuse to call me by my call sign?
Because I know it bothers you. No other reason than that.
I've invented a call sign. You can't even call me by it. You know, you military men, it's all about call signs. Viper and Phoenix and whatever. Maverick and Goose and Iceman.
Yep. There's your call signs.
In the future, help me out with the STT call sign, please.
All right, STT.
Thanks.
How you doing, STT?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I am doing great.
This is good to hear. Very good to hear. Also, join me on tonight's program, the new host of the morning show, Stock Sumo.
Hey, good evening, gang. What's happening?
How's it going there, Sumo?
Good. Very well.
That's good to hear. Also, joining us on the program tonight is Sifakia.
Aloha, STT. How about those Yankees?
How about those Yankees?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Isn't that what you and your boys say to each other when you see each other?
No.
Oh, no. You're not a Yankee fan.
But since you brought that up, I got a quick little story.
I knew it.
Quick little story to tell prior.
I knew it. All right.
Tonight's Stock Spotlight. When the Yankees acquired CC Sabathia and A.J. Burnett, I went and rambled off to my dad that A.J. Burnett would prove to be the number one pitcher for the New York Yankees. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. But he did win us a World Series. I have to give him that much. All right? Then my dad, all proud of himself, calls me last week and he says to me, "What do you think of your boy AJ now?" And I said, I don't know. I think he'll be our number 2 pitcher this year. He turns to me and says, "How is that possible?" And I said to him, "Well, you got CC, and then who else do we have, really, besides AJ?" He goes, "You don't understand. You don't have AJ anymore. He's been traded to the Pirates." I said, "Oh, okay." And I told Dad, I said, "Watch, 25-game winner this year." Get a phone call today. "How's your boy AJ doing?" "I don't know. I don't follow the Pirates." He goes, "You think he's still going to win 25 games this year?" And I said, "I guarantee it." He said, "That's going to be a tough feat." He foul-tipped an attempted bunt into his eye and broke his orbital socket and is out for 3 months.
Wow. So he really is a pirate then.
So, yeah.
I just want to chime in here. I actually broke my orbital socket before, and this is no joke. Yeah, he'll be out for at least 3 months. It's
Oh my God.
I had reconstructive facial surgery.
Oh my God.
I got metal plates in my face. It's the way my skin. I'd look like the Terminator.
That's so nuts, bro. Oh, it's
You go to airport security.
So wait, let me get this right. He went to bunt, fouled one off, and broke his orbital.
Correct.
Ouch.
Now, we all know the Pirates don't have the big payroll, but they had to pick up his $17.2 million payroll and now don't have him for 3 months.
Yankee curse.
It is. I think it is. So,
They could always send him to the Cubs.
So this year I have to find a new favorite Yankee to root for every time. I don't know who that's going to be yet. I'll let everybody know when the season starts. Oh, by the way, the other night we beat up on the Philadelphia Phillies 8-2. Just had to stick that in there real quick. All right, enough about sports. Let's move on to the other S word. Stocks. And tonight's stock spotlight, double S word right there.
Hey, what? Time out, STT.
Uh-oh, time out.
Welcome to the show, Siffy.
I introduced Siffy.
Where'd he go? Did he get phase off?
Oh, I'm here. Remember, I'm the one that got the Yankee talk going.
I know, but I didn't know if you were done laughing. I figured you had to get off because you were still laughing.
I was rolling. I had to mute. That's for sure. You know that, Cobb.
I know. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I can move on now?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move on to tonight's stock spotlight. Conducting tonight's stock spotlight, giving QT Cal a break, is Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away.
All right. Tonight's stock spotlight is All American Pet Company, which is stock ticker AAPT. Closed today at 0.0055, up 57% on 34,800,000 shares in volume today. Huge volume coming into this stock. The key thing to know about this stock is we actually hit this up on a scanner on March 1st, I believe it was, somewhere right around there, early in the morning, where it was basically looking like a money ball. And those of you that know how I trade and those type of things, when I see an inrush of money, I'm looking to see what happens. And if it pulls back and the money comes back, I know it's going up. That's really one of my big, huge triggers. And this was a pretty easy one to pull out of the of what was happening around 0.0016 area, 0.0015 when we got that confirmation. So, of course, volume's still increasing over a little bit of time. I'm not going to actually go through the chart right now, but we knew it was getting ready to be a power play, especially with the volume in the past in February where it was the chart where it was set up. I mean, that's what happens. People buy a lot of the stock, and you can see the volume come out of nowhere where it was very low volume, under 1 million, way under 1 million for a very, very long time. Pretty much an inactive company per se, very quiet. And then all of a sudden, things start happening. And so a little bit about All American Pet Company is the fact that here, as you guys know, we love using the iBox, so we're going to go ahead and go there real quick. Really good iBox. A lot of the stuff that's actually from their website, where it's All American Pet Company is a public company, of course. Executive offices are in Beverly Hills, and they do a lot of natural food, Bow Wow breakfast food, those type of things. And they have a lot of plans that they're actually doing on the website, planning to add vitamin and mineral supplements, electrolytes, all that other type of stuff. And and as everyone knows, the pet industry is huge. We've interviewed a couple companies in the past where you're talking $18 billion industry where you get a product, you get something, and you're going to make a splash. Essentially, that's what the key is that's happening there. But I want to go to a trigger that was actually happening with this. All right, back on. Let's go with December 27, 2011. Or let me digress here. you go to OTC Markets, right, as we always do, otcmarkets.com, AAPT, you pull up the company information, you find out where their address is, phone number, verify certain things like that as far as their allamericanpetcompany.com website, as well as their email and those things. So all of that stuff's very active, and it's good to go. And then you get your security details, and it shows you the shares outstanding and the dates. And this is important to know. Shares outstanding on OTC Markets is 230,934,000 as of June 20th, 2011. Very old data. Float at that time was 105 million, and not updated since December 31st, 2010. Still really old data, right? Authorized shares, 250 million, February 1st, 2011. Very old data as well. And, shareholders record were 118. Right? All that's pretty old data. Now when you pull up the 8K that they actually had in the financials, all right, so right there you have it. You can pull that up. Pretty simple stuff. Then you pull it up. Let me jump there real quick. All right, December 27th, 2011. All right, All American Pet basically gives the address, all those other type of things, the law group, and what's actually happening here. So here's some key information I kind of want to throw out there. On October 1st, 2011, the company sold 19,650,000 shares of restricted common stock to 11 investors for a total purchase price of $196,500. So basically sold it at a penny, right? All which was paid in cash, huge. The 19,650,000 shares of common stock were issued on December 28, 2011. Okay, so October 1st, 2011, all restricted stock is 6 months or a year. Take your pick. So we're going to assume the worst situation that happens, we're going to go with a year or with 6 months. All right? So that puts us out towards the end of March, somewhere around that time frame, March, April. So what you're seeing is the run-up that's actually happening with the stock. Now, that could be a couple different reasons. It could be because the company's reinventing itself, got new products, which this one did on a couple different things, and are getting ready to make a big go at it. Or it could be a combination of raising liquidity for capital markets due to expansion, growth, whatever the case may be. Or it could be just selling stock. In this case, I don't think it's just selling stock. I think it's a situation where you have a combination that's going on here. All right, so I want to give you the other tidbit from the 8K, which is very important. On December 27th, if you go down the amendment, the item 5.03 gives you amendment articles of incorporation, bylaws, change in fiscal year. Okay, at this point, on December 27, 2011, the registrant increased the number of authorized common stock from 250 million to 500 million shares. The amendment occurred as a result of our stockholders approving the amendment at the 2011 annual meeting of stockholders. And the copies are in there as exhibit and those type of things. All right, so what we know for a fact is the new authorized shares, 500,000, and that triggers two things to me, okay? People, same 8K, and you have an investment group of 11 people that are willing to come to the table with almost $200,000, and you're increasing the share structure. Very uncommon combination there, all right? And the reason why it's normally uncommon is it's kind of two sides of the coin, right? You're going to increase the share structure, and you just raised huge amount of capital, right, and issued the stock already. So that tells you a couple things. That tells you pure growth. That's a very good indicator of this is getting ready to something big is getting ready to happen here from a growth standpoint. And I don't know what it is. I mean, there's I haven't been able to find any news as far as from updating as far as that piece. I can give you some stuff that happened of what they said they were going to do, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. But the bottom line is that combination is, to me, a very good sign, especially when I see money flowing into the company. When you see money flowing in and there's no news that's coming out, that means a lot of people are understanding what's going on. It could be friends, family. It could be the 11 investors who basically put all their money, put $200,000 in here, who are telling everybody and their brother to buy it, friends, family, whatever the case may be, right? when people invest money, they get a little. I wouldn't call it they're not insiders, but they get information and those type of things, and that's how that stuff works. Bottom line. All right, so that's the 8K, vital document to understand. And, as the OTC market piece, I kind of went through that a little bit. All right, so let me jump back to the company. The website in the iBox is really good, goes over all the different stuff, weight management, the innovation, first breakfast food to dogs and those type of things. And it gives the information of the company, how to contact them. I checked all of those, bounced them back to three different things. They all checked out, which is always positive. And all of their YouTube stuff and a lot of their news is from 09, 010, right? And, when you go back and you dive into a lot of the different things in the past, it looks like they had great concept and some great product ideas. But, at the time, if you remember the economic condition, it looks like they were struggling financially and were not able to raise the proper funds to get where they needed to go. That's my initial take on that. The timing matches up, and it could have gone from there. So quite easily, based off of all of that data, this company could have just died on a limb and just never came to be, which you wouldn't see the 8K. So the 8K is kind of telling you a lot of different things that are actually going on here. Now, I want to go to a couple different people here that you have. Lisa Bershin is a president and board member, right? Great lady. I don't know if anybody's ever talked to her before, but she's super nice, and is all about business and making a viable company, which is huge, right? It's one of the key things that you want. And she's senior sales executive and entrepreneur in the food category. Her years of working with the supermarket chains, which include over 20,000 locations, has opened All American Pets to the company's entire product line. And it goes through, in 1978, she founded Incredible Edibles, a chain of gourmet stores, which she sold in 1986 to Piedmont Specialty Foods. From 1986 to 1994, Ms. Bershin served as vice president and director of sales with Piedmont Foods, where she helped launch numerous snack food products in the major supermarket chains and built sales of her product lines to $32 million in less than 18 months' time. In 1994, she founded the Lisa's Gourmet Snacks and marketed unique snack foods, including the first baked chips under the Lisa's Incredible Edible brands. Ms. Bershin received an Associate's Art degree from Fashion Institute of Technology and Fashion Merchandise. All right, bottom line, you have somebody that's done this numerous times from a marketing standpoint, how to market it, and has clearly a network to be able to support this type of concept. So when you look at the pieces of the puzzle that are actually coming together here, you're seeing a lot of things that are kind of lining up and making sense with very little information, right? So when you go through, next thing I want to pop you to is I went through the iBox. A lot of it's the website. The website's AAPbrands.com. That's the corporate website, and it's got a lot of different things that you can find there. And it looks like a lot of the data in the iBox is a little off, especially if the share structure piece is off. But so just verify all that stuff. But it's actually coming directly from OTC markets. So I guess you got to just believe what it is. All right, now I want to take you to a post. All right, Diamond Fire, pretty good DDer guy out there. He knows what's going on. Post number 1327, right? And what he's basically telling you is, and he's right, in my opinion, on a lot of different things. He says, why AAPT can run like a greyhound in March, which is, pretty clear DD. And the thing that I like about what he did is he backed it all up. First foremost, new revenues, right? About to come into All American Pet Company. He checked out their September 2012 PR, which states, among other things, that they have received initial approval from national chain to potentially sell into 15,000 stores nationwide, right? Which matches up with Lisa's resume there, right? Right. So that kind of makes sense. And then when you go down, you look at what else he's got. Goes through their resumes and all of that. So then he goes down a little further. So then to me, this time to buy is now under 0.005 in the coming weeks. We can't recommend anybody buying, but I'm just telling you what it says. And anything under a penny. Now, here's the thing about the penny thing. the reason why penny is a kind of a target is they sold 19,650,000 shares at a penny, right, for 196 grand, and so that's a target price. Now, sometimes it's a good indicator, sometimes it's not, right? People would sit there and say, well, they bought it at a penny, it's got to at least go to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 for them to make their money back. In most of the cases, I would say that is the wrong answer. It is very, very rare for investors to buy from a company at that price without buying a ton of shares on the open market. Okay, very rare. All right, so the penny thing is the draw. It's kind of like the hook, and that's just how it works. Now, some will actually go from there, or they'll eat up a lot of the float at the lower price, which I believe is one of the things that's actually happened here. I think, look at the volume and the certain things that are happening, I think there's a big chunk of the tradable float that's getting locked up all over the place. And, hence when their supply and demand equation shrinks from that aspect and there's no shares, it can continue to rise, which is really big, right? So that's the key thing I want you to understand about that side. But let me go back to his message there. All right. Then and he says, before April 1st, okay, check out the Twitter Paul Tizer page, and you will see April 1st mentioned twice as a release date to a store near you, right? So he's found the stuff on Twitter where, there's kind of like, Hansel and Gretel, here a little bit, little hints being brought out to where, this new product, Paul Tizer, looks like it's getting ready to become a big thing. On top of this new product, Paul Tizer, they're also coming out with Bow Wow Boost with the description, vitamins for dogs, soluble vitamin powder, all of those type of things. And then it goes a little further, and here's the best part, okay? AAPT has also filed for the international trademark rights to Paul Tizer, all right? Also dated February 21st, 2012. So they did, I like the way he's done the DD because he's got even the links in there, and it's trademarks411.com, and where you're able to actually find this the trademark. Now, why do that? Right? I mean, that's an indicator that's telling you that, okay, all right, why would you do that? If you've had a dead company for so long and been very quiet, and all of a sudden you filed 8K, you're filing trademarks, there's events on the horizon is what's going on, and big buying coming in, buying up the float. It's like connect all the dots, and there's some huge stuff happening here. All right, so let me give you the next piece off of this. All right, and then he goes through and starts to talk about the shares and how it was working with the volume spikes and all that. Great information, exactly kind of what we were talking about. And then he talks about the 11 investors, and then the 8K, and then the raise and all of that. So he's pretty clear on exactly what it is. A lot of the things that we just sat there and said, which is very similar to the whole thing. Now, I agree with everything the guy's saying. And the reason why I agree with it is, one, it's actually doing what he said it was going to do based off of the indicators with the large volume spikes. Now, hey, Siffy, while I'm going and doing this, can you get the chart ready? All right, so what you're seeing is large volume spikes and a staircase up. Staircase up means there's two times where this happens. Huge absolute surge in demand versus the supply to where it can happen. And the other one is as I mentioned earlier, is the float is getting locked, meaning people are not selling the stock. So, we put this out as a money ball play or entering on March 1st, seeing exactly what we were seeing with the money that was actually flowing into this. So, do you have the chart, Sif?
Actually, Sumo was going to rock that chart.
All right, rock it out, Sumo.
Well, today it broke a key level of resistance at 0055. It closed at 0055. It hit a high today at 006. But if you look back, you really have to take it back to like 2010, 2011, and see where this stock came from to get a good idea and analysis on the resistance points. Because in a lot of cases, I like to look at support and resistance. Hopefully this resistance that it broke today at 0055, if it can hold that as a future level of support, then that'd be a nice sign for the stock. After that 0055, the next resistance is the 200-day moving average, which is at 0069-ish. You can look back in 2011, between August and September, at one point there was a big sell-off, and it dipped as low as 001, I want to say, and bounced back, and it traded in between 003, 004 range for a couple days before it made a run to 0069, and then consolidated and traded sideways in between 0055 between October till December, and then there was a sharp sell-off here, and then all of a sudden we're seeing the volume really flow back into the stock, and it's been making a big move. Now, after that 0069, the next resistance point is a penny mark, because you can see back in August there, it had traded around a penny before there was that sharp sell-off. And then after that penny mark, it's pretty much blue sky up to 017 to the 2 cent range. So there's a lot of different ways that the stock could go. Hopefully it could hold that support after this resistance was broken at 0055. I like the way the accumulation and distribution is really at an all-time high, and it's just spiking right up. The RSI is up at the power zone, so that's always a nice sign. So the 20-day moving average crossed over that 50-day moving average. Also, that's a great sign. So a lot of good things happening. Nice volume bars the past couple weeks. So I like that chart.
Yeah, the volume bars, where you get the big pop, then the little one, then you get the big volume bar, then a little one, where it lets it breathe and gather support, and then does it again, gather support. That's there's a couple of things happening there, right? Where the big people coming in to buying it, they drive it up to a certain level, and then what's happening is they're going to see who's going to sell and eat up the shares, as you can surely see, and then do it again the following day, right? Because you see the white wick, and then the red wick, and then the white wick, then the red wick, and then you got those 2 days of that burst that came from the 20 to the 40. You see that? That 2 day in a row, about 3 trading days ago. That's a huge move. That's a 100% move that happened in those 2 days. And then you get the red wick that goes from the 45 to the 25, which there's some. I wasn't watching L2 on this play that day or anything like that, but there were some dips and some selling that was actually happening there. And then you get today's movement that actually happened, which is an impressive move. I mean, this thing's on launch in a major way, especially with the increasing of the volume screaming up the candle. That's you draw the lines on this one. We don't predict prices or anything like this, but this thing is definitely not done. Just by looking at it.
Yeah, well, you got that one nice signal, that 20-day moving average crossing over that 50-day moving average. That's a very nice rising average. The 50 days really sharply moving up, turning up. Now, if that thing could continue to gain a head of steam and keep climbing up there and past the 200-day moving average, it's got a long way to go, because like I said, the 200 days at 0069, and right now the 20-day is sitting at 0023, and the 50 days 002. But if either one of those can make its way up and past that 200-day, that'd be very bullish.
Yeah, I would agree there. I'm not liking the little bit of sell-off that it had today, and it looks like, I don't know if somebody cleared off the ask, and then and that was to paint to the 5.5 from the 50. You got L2?
In the morning there was that pullback. I looked at the daily chart. It looked like it dipped in the morning, and it really rallied throughout the end of the day.
Yeah, I would agree. Hey, 57%. You're bound to have profits, and some of these people are up. I mean, that's a 200% move, 200 plus. And not to mention that the people, whoever's holding all those shares back in February, when you were where you were in the trips, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're cranking out in a major state right now. So you're bound to get that flipping that's happened there. But it looks to me like the majority of the stock is being held. Good stuff. All right, it's good stuff, guys.
Very well done there, Mr. Cop. All right, at this time in the show, let's take a small commercial break, and we'll be back with Sifikia. Sif, are you ready?
Sure, why not?
That's good to know. Nice to know ahead of time that you'll be ready. After the break, Sifikia coming up. We'll be right back after these words.
PennyChatterStocks.com, where our network becomes your game. There is no need for 6 or 7 sites to track your penny stock funds. We've got chat, forums, blogs. You can integrate your Twitter, Facebook, Google+, MailChimp emailers all on one site so that your following comes with you. All it comes down to is the network, www.pennychatterstocks.com.
Outweigh the competition, pushing and shoving our way to extreme profit in the penny stock arena. Go to StockSumo.com today to sign up for our free alerts via email or text message. StockSumo.com, where the games are groundbreaking. Don't just take our word for it. Find out firsthand by heading over to StockSumo.com, home of the real heavy hitters.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Stock Sumo, Sifikia, QT Cal, and Mr. Cop. Did everybody make it back from the break with me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That is fantabulous. All right, as promised prior to the break, it's time for some big board option looking things. See if we can keep up with him tonight. Sifikia.
All right. Good stuff. Awesome spotlight, Cop. Good to have you back. And let's see here. Got our new iPad, guys. Today was, to say the least, very volatile in Apple towards the last hour and a half of trading. And talk about a wild ride where you can make a lot of money or lose a lot of money in the option world on that. Because let me tell you, these things were literally the 535 call. I watched this thing go from 250 to 550, back down to 250, went all the way to $1.50, closed back up around 350. So basically, for every penny that Apple moved, this thing was moving tick for tack with it. So it could put a hurting on you real quick, considering it was up around 12 at one point of the day. So think about that. And I'm not so sure about this new iPad. I'm not actually an Apple person myself. I don't own a single product from Apple. Been wanting to. I'm hoping STT is going to buy me like a big old touch screen Mac in the very near future. And then I'll be an Apple guy. But I do love trading the stock. And I think we closed at 530.69. And I don't really know exactly what she's going to do tomorrow. I mean, you've seen the disconnect. Apple's been leading our market higher for some time now in the last few sessions. it didn't. You saw the market rallying today, with the fears of Greece getting put on the side and a little more risk. You got pension funds and big banks coming in and saying they'll buy up the new debt swap, which is due tomorrow, I think around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watch for that. I have a feeling I don't think it's going to default. That's just my gut feeling. But even if it does, I'll be buying that dip. I'll tell you that. Let's see here. What else do we got? The S&P 500, guys, we are finally below that 20-day moving average. I know I've talked about it a few times. You look on a daily. We never broke below that 20-day moving average since we broke up through it back in December. I believe December 20th. It might be off a couple days, but I believe that was the last time we broke through it. After that 1202.37 bottom. Never even went through it once, guys. We're finally back below it. So I would say that moving average is at 1358.39 currently. Watch that to be a level of resistance now. Now that we've broken below it, you've got your 50-day MA down at 1323.33. I know that's quite a ways away. There's some support in between there, but that's definitely a large support, that 50 MA. And then, of course, you got that 200 down at 1258, and you've got that 150 smoother at 1243. And if you think about it, all those levels have been key throughout the days. The chart, you know how I love those 50 MAs, putting on that slow stow, that ultimate oscillator, that PPO, that RSI, always looking at that CMF, the accumulation distribution, just like Kopp said, follow the money. Those things, some of them have crossed through that 50 MA. I'm going to make a video on this tonight. I'll throw up on the hub so you can see what I'm talking about here on this chart that I'm looking at. And, draw your lines off the bottom, starting at that 1114.22 bottom, connecting it at that 1158.66, and just letting it slide on down. I also want to put one up at the top there at that 1208 back in August, and let it just lay on top of that 1230 and that 1292 top. And that'll give you a nice little channel. And it also shows you why a lot of these big hedge funds and market commentary guys are aiming so high, because when you throw the channel on this thing could really go a lot higher. Yeah, right now, looks like it's pulling back. I like it. I'm looking for a little bit more of a discount, and I want to buy it. So, okay, enough on the S&P. Let's look at what's actually moved us up today. And I think, like I keep talking about, sometimes it trips you out what moves the market. Today, it was those department stores, all right? That was your best group today. And who's leading in the department stores today? You got Bon-Ton. We talked about them on the radio this morning. They were up a whopping 35.24%. And what's funny about it is they came out with earnings this morning, and they basically were a disappoint, and next thing you know, through the roof, they're up 55% year to date. And what's funny about that is you look at what they're up the last 250 days, negative 65. So a lot of big moves in the last few sessions. So in the last 60 days, this thing's been kicking some butt. And the rest of the group was a little bit, you got Saks Fifth, stuff like that, JCPenney's. JCPenney's actually came out afterwards with some pretty positive after market news. So put that one on the watch list. JCP for you big board guys might be, the volatility is definitely coming back in, might be an option playing that. Let's see, what else do we got here? What else led the market higher today? You got the car rental companies. We won't even talk about them. I think we all know who they are, and that ain't surprising. People are traveling. My parents own a vacation rental, and it's booked. You got the home builders. Keep seeing them up there. And there's that fracking, guys. Remember, we talked about them a couple nights in a row. They were at the bottom of the list. Well, today, they were up at number 4. The whole sector was up 4.1%. And let's see, what else do we got? We had the consumer video chips. I don't know who's in there. We won't even look. Your worst groups today, your electric cars, your solar. You saw that, the Canadian solar, First Solar. Where's the bottom on these things? All I know is don't take them off the radar, guys, because there is a bottom, and when it finds it, it's money to be had. All right? Shoe retailers were down. Iron ore, they keep getting beat up. Get that sector on watch. Programmable chips, because the money flows in and out. The leaders will not always be leaders. The money rotates. Your biggest gainers today, you had TRCR, that's your Transcend service, and of course Bon-Ton stores like I told about. Global Cash, TNS, and Outdoor Channel, OUTD. Your biggest losers, you had Pandora, that's P, Brown Shoe, BWS. Pandora was down 23%. I definitely got that one on the radar. I don't use that service either, but I don't think it's done yet. I look for a bounce in that in the coming sessions. Let's take a quick look here over at our economic calendar. 'Cause tomorrow it's a full one. You keep seeing today that ADP employment report and that productivity cost that really helped us out, and the consumer credit took us up to that next leg and gave us that support we needed. So you always got to know when that economic calendar is coming in. Tomorrow ain't no joke, man. You got some serious stuff. You got the BOE announcement, and that's the Bank of England. That's at 7 a.m. I don't expect them to be changing rates, but you never know. You got the Challenger job report at 7:30, and then you got your ECB announcement at 7:45. Again, you never know. And then, of course, every Thursday we got that jobless claims, guys. And I think right now the consensus is 351K. The range is going to be 345 to 360. Prior was 351. So whenever I see that where they just keep the consensus there and they're not looking for a move, this thing's ready to move the market if it beats in either direction. So, excuse me, keep your eye on that there. Like I said, every Thursday, we should all know about that one by now. So that is a market mover. And then after that, we've got our Bank of Canada announcement, Ryan? And that's at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And then we've got our Bloomberg Consumer Comfort Index. Go figure. Then you've got your quarterly service survey at 10, and then you got your EIA natural gas report at 10:30. Normally, it always moves to natural gas a little bit, but the way natural gas has been getting hammered and has been so much in the news, Boone Pickens, you name it, everybody's talking about natural gas. It's going to have its day. Don't take it off the radar. Tomorrow might be the start of it if something comes out, all right? That's at 10:30. 3-month bill announcement at 11, 6-month bill announcement at 11, 3-year note announcement at 11, 10-year note announcement at 11, and a 30-year bond. So keep that print and press going. And then you got your Fed balance sheet at 4:30 and a money supply at 4:30. So you got no lack of action tomorrow, guys. I think that's about it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Don't forget, Stock Traders Talk Radio now airs in the morning at 9 a.m. till approximately 10 a.m., covering the pre-market and the first half hour of the market. It's been exciting stuff the last few days. The show just started Monday. Come join us, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now let's move on to the top 10 buzzing on Investors Hub with Stock Sumo. Sumo.
Hey, what's happening? Good job, Siffy. Nice stuff, man. A lot of great stuff going on. So looking forward to what comes out tomorrow morning and what you have for us on tomorrow morning's show. For today's top 10, got a bunch of stuff cooking up in the buzz cloud, one of which ASKE was up 33%, and it closed at 0012, traded 40 million shares. Be careful there, though. It's got caveat emptor status. I like to resort to OTC markets for a lot of my research just to see, what companies are doing what with staying up on their filings and such. And turns out this one's caveat emptor, so, look out for that. RTGV is the next one. Closed at 0028, up 7%, and traded 81 million shares. Its average volume is 24 million. We've been talking about that one on the show a lot lately. It's been making some nice swings. UNDR is another one we've been mentioning on the show a lot lately. It's been making a nice move. Today it popped 77% on 54 million, closed out the day at 0023, traded 55, 54 million. Its 3-month average is 5.9 million. Another one we were watching this morning, NEOM, did very well volume today, 83.8 million shares traded, and it closed up 30%. HNSS is another one in the buzz cloud that I saw that traded some nice volume. It was 65.9 million shares traded there, and the 3-month average is 5 million shares, and it closed up 50% on the day. Another one that had some good volume today was HIMR, traded 36 million shares. It closed up 33% at 004. The 3-month average there is 500,000 shares. A couple that we caught on our scanner this morning with pre-market news that traded pretty nicely was Liquid Metal Technologies, Inc., LQMT, and it closed up today 47%. It traded a whopping 25 million shares. It closed at 23.5 cents. The daily range was 18 to 35. So it made a massive move and then consolidated and still managed to close up 46% on the day. The other one that had some nice news that we caught pre-market was SLMU. That's Solomon Group, Inc., and it was up 52.67%, closed at 20 cents, and its volume was 3 million shares. The 3-month average there is 210,000 shares, and the daily range was 13 to 21 cents. So it basically closed near its high day there at 20 cents. So held all those gains. Very nice move on SLMU. The other one that I had on my radar that's buzzing is AGCZ. It's been holding in this 4-cent range for a while. Closed up 5% on the day, traded 580,000 shares, and the 3-month average volume there is 280,000 shares. So that's what we got for the top 10 there, Mike.
All right, very well done. Mr. Kopp, you've been on hiatus. You haven't had much airtime. How about you tell us what you're watching?
Yeah. What I'm watching? I'm watching everything. Everything.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Well, I mean, you guys have seen the picks over the course of the last few weeks, or actually the last month. Following the money, it seems to be a very good trend. Kick on the floor, bang, bang, all that regular stuff. Hint, hint, you can see exactly what's actually happening out there. Money's flowing back to the penny stocks, more volume, more cash flow, and you're getting 4 or 5 runners that are actually happening, depending on the type of player you are, the type of things that you have to go. I guess let me rattle off a couple of them. The big one I absolutely love to death is IRBL. You guys saw that big move up today, 183%. We called that one at 0.0006, and it's at 0.0068. I love 12 baggers, and I think she's just going to keep on going. A lot of things going there where tying up the float and the money it's pure cash flow running to that play. If you're not seeing it, I don't know what to tell you. It was kind of funny because I was reading a bunch of posts yesterday where people were saying 0.0029 was too high. Well, you missed 100%. Good job. The other big one I'm looking at is WBSI, and I'm doing everything I can to get them on the radio. You guys, have you seen the money flow happening there? Anybody notice that at all?
Not I, sir.
All right. Well, today it closed at 0.0075. Now, the thing about it, it was up again another 50%, right? Yesterday, so it's been driving today and yesterday, and early last week it could have got it at 23, 24. So it's pretty easy to actually do. So you're seeing the load happen, and the part that triggers me with this one is the fact that it moved 50% on 2.6 million in volume. That's a little ridiculous, right? Daily range was 0.0049 to 0.0078, almost closed at the high. So there's some magic happening there from a money perspective. You guys know I like that AAPT. That's why I kind of threw it in the spotlight for one. And then there's a couple other ones, and I'll just rattle off. I've been watching AAVG again. You guys remember that one with the Avstar Aviation Group?
Yep.
She held that 2021 area so solid and starting to tick up again, little by little by little, but you got another 17 million in volume. When we did a spotlight on that one, probably 2 months ago maybe, and she drove the 31, and I'm just seeing some very interesting things that are kind of happening there. Let me give you a couple other ones here that are kind of looking there. The frog play, I'm not digging that anymore. I was thinking about that there was a possibility to catch bounce there, but I'm staying away from that. The GDSM is a play that went to 2.5 cents, and Gold Coast Mining Corp. And it's like anything else in these stocks. Okay, this one came from 0.0005. Right, drove to a 30 bagger, for crying out loud. Lots of people bought this thing at the top, way at the top. The volume in the penny to 2 cent area was just absolutely ridiculous. So now what you're getting sell-offs that have been happening ever since that peak. And today you had 49 million in volume with a downplay of almost 27%, closing at 0.0065. So I am eyeing this thing up, looking for a bottom with this, because I know that people it's like that. It's the scream up, drop down over time, and people are going to be averaging down on that play. They got no choice but to average down or to sell. All right. So those that didn't click their stops are sitting there with some huge losses right now, absolutely huge, to where they either got to hold it, which locks some of the float up, or they got to average down. Hence, you're going to get new support, and then people will drive. So I love playing those coming off of that type of style, because you can always clip it for 50%. So I play them all the time. So I'm definitely looking at GDSM. The HPSC is in the same position. It was basically it was a promoted play. Well, sort of. They thought it was going to be the promoted play. Everyone loaded the living crap out of it, which it tells you everything you want to know. And the fact that it's people buy stocks based off of rumor and all kinds of other crap, and that was a lot of money that went into that thing. So I'm just looking to see if there's ever going to be a bottom there. It doesn't look good at all, but we'll see what happens. It's just something that I'm looking at. The ICPA is another one that's been sliding down for a little while. We've had them on here. It's at 0.0032. So I'm looking for an entry on that as far as that type of play, and that's a big one that I think can potentially get a nice bounce. But it depends on it's all a supply and demand equation. I say this all the time. You just got to watch it. But those are the key ones I'm watching. I mean, WBSI and IRBL, I think, are screamers. The Sugo play, I don't know, anybody play that one? We called that one again. We've hit so many 100, 200% plays. It's crazy, and you kind of don't want to go to the well too many times, where you're thinking, okay, this next one is going to tank on me. Well, you know how it is, right? I mean, you can't. It's highly improbable to stay as hot as we've been on picks. Period. And it's not. Things change and ebb and flow, but it's been one incredible hell of a month. There is one I want you to kind of look at that is that ICTY continues to get volume from before, but it's really sideways. So it's got to break one way or the other eventually. So just keep that on the radar and just look and see what's actually happening there. And that's pretty much what I got.
All right. Fantastic stuff. Once again, don't forget, Stock Traders Talk Radio airs 9 a.m. to approximately 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. Our nighttime day is Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, fantastic job tonight. Looking forward to the morning show. We'll see what's running tomorrow. You're listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. We're going to cut the show a little short tonight, just a couple minutes. No big deal. I'm not going to kill anybody, I don't think. Anybody have a problem with that?
No, let's talk stocks, man. Let's keep running them.
You got more?
Let's talk about something.
What do you got?
Any charts? You should put the number out there and see if anybody wants to call in.
It's 5 minutes left.
Yeah, that's true. Only that. Hey, I on my little notes here, I forgot to tell you. Did you see EVPH move again? She found that support level and it's getting ready to rock.
Oh yeah. I'm hearing good rumors on that one.
Well, I'm not hearing any rumors. What are you hearing?
Oh, I'm just hearing good things coming down the pipe.
Is that the rumor?
Yeah, that's the skinny. That's the flim flam.
Oh boy.
Well, the reason why I like it is, did you see that? I started getting worried about it. I'll tell you the truth. There was a lot of low volume selling that was happening there from that 0.0094, and then she started screaming down for a little while, then slid and kind of averaged it around and sideways on that 50, and then you had a couple that dropped below there today. I thought for sure she was just going to go, just dive, and then I watch it, and then all of a sudden more volume starts hitting more, staircase up, and she goes from 55 up to 69 within the last 2 hours. So it was like, all right, so money's flowing. So it's follow the money. It's simple. That's it. It's really that simple. That's all I got. Sorry, Mike. STT, right?
That's okay. That's okay. I have no problem with that. All right. Now I'm going to wrap up the show for real this time. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk Radio land, we're wishing you the best in all your trades, and may your portfolio be green. We'll be back on the air tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, this is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.